What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and today we will be joined by uh lightweight contender Jamaine Ortiz. He is from Massachusetts, I believe Worcester, Massachusetts. We'll see. I read conflicting reports. Once he hops on, he'll be able to clear that up as to where he's from exactly. Uh, yes, his father's Puerto Rican, his mother's Dominican. He's just recently fought Vasil Lomachenko in a very, very close decision loss. Yeah, so he's gonna hop on. We're gonna talk to him about his story, where is he from, and where he grew up, and how was coming up, how he got into boxing, and all that good stuff. And then we'll get into what he thought about his fight with Lomachenko. Did he think he win, and what's to move forward? Lightweight division is a hot division. If Haney's there, Loma's there, Shakur just moved up. Uh, you know, we got Raymond Murataya who's stepping up soon. He's gonna fight Jeremiah Nakatilia. And I'm really high on Raymond Murataya. And this is all the guys on the top ranked side. And if you want to expand it over to the PBC side, you got Tank, you got Michelle, you got Frank Martin, you got Edwin De Los Santos. This is a really, really, really stacked division. And Jamaine Ortiz is in the thick of it. He's in the mix. So I definitely, and I'm excited about this interview. Hopefully he hops on soon and we can have that conversation. But yeah, but by the way, before he hops on, I want to say, I thought he won that. I thought he won that Lomachenko fight, man. I thought he won that Lomachenko fight. He did fade a little bit towards the later rounds, but I felt like he did good. I felt like he put enough rounds in the bank to win that fight. Speaking of him, Jamaine Ortiz.
What's going on?
What's going on, my brother? It's a pleasure to have you, man.
Pleasure's all mine, man.
Yeah, man. First, before we start the interview, I just want to say your Uncle Jose, man, that's my man. He stay hitting me up, making sure your name is in the mix. Anytime I go live, he's making sure I'm talking about you. He's always calling and texting me. I love your uncle, bro. He's a really good dude, man.
He is.
Yeah, man. So first I before we get into what you're doing now and as far as what's going on, I kind of want to get your story a little bit. So I was reading conflicting reports. You were born and raised in Worcester, Massachusetts, correct?
Yeah.
All right. How was life growing up there? Is safe area, good area? How was it?
Now I feel like it ain't too bad, but growing up, I grew up some parts with my dad in the valley, which was like the projects, and that the time was a rough area. My mom too. It was different about 20 years ago than it is now. Things have changed a little bit,
Yeah.
but it was two different households. Obviously, drama, a lot of fighting, seeing it outside the house, inside the house. So I just grew up around fighting, watching movies, Rocky, John Van Damme. I think that's how you say his name. Every
Jean-Claude Van
fighting,
Damme, yeah.
yeah, every fighting movie you can imagine. So fighting was just always inside of me, something I always loved to do.
Yeah. So were you a troubled kid? Like, were you getting to school fights, street fights a lot?
Yeah, definitely. That's how I kind of got my way. That's how I actually got my first pair of gloves on me. Was uh, every day after school, we're getting into some scuffle or fight, whatever, and I came home with a bloody nose to my dad, and his friend had a pair of boxing gloves in his trunk. So he took them out, put them on me, lined up all the kids in the valley. It was probably like 10 of them, and made me fight every single one. And that was like the first time I had some boxing gloves on. And then my mom signed me up to the Boys and Girls Club. My dad got my license, my boxing license, and it was a wrap from there. My coach, mentor, Carlos Garcia, took over, and we're here now.
Out of those, I guess 10 fights, how many of those did you
All
win?
of them.
You
All of
won
them.
all of them?
All of them.
All right. So you a natural.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say I'm a natural. Natural fighter, natural, yeah, but naturally skillful, no, I would say no.
Okay. And from what I understand, your father is Puerto Rican and your mother's Dominican, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. How was that? Because you know how we us Caribbeans are Caribbean. We kind of have like a little rivalry and stuff like that. Would your mom and father tease each other? Did you have beef
Hmm.
from your cousin from your Puerto Rican side and your cousin from your Dominican side? Anything like that ever happen?
Nah, I don't think I never like grew up around any beef that in that type of manner. I know I've been around it in the sense of like the Dominicans will talk about the Puerto Ricans will talk about the Dominicans, but it's never been like around like my family and stuff like that.
Okay,
They never talk to each other.
I got you. I got you.
But
Are
you
you
know, them
closer?
subs being there, the subs being there always low key. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, no, for
there's always
sure.
a sub.
I'm from New York, so I definitely know. I definitely know exactly what you're talking about. Are you closer to one side? Are you closer to your Dominican side, or closer to your Puerto Rican side?
I would say I'm closer to the Dominican side. That's because I mainly grew up with my mom
Mhm.
and her family. But when my dad was around, he definitely made sure I was very family orientated. He always took me to see my family, his side of the family, every weekend, anytime we could. So I'm very close to both sides of the family. But growing up in Worcester, where my mom's of the family lives, and my dad's side of the family lived like out of state, Florida, Rhode Island, I spent more time with the Dominican side.
Okay, okay. Speaking of your father, from my research, it's like your father passed away when you were at a young age, right?
Yeah, I was 15. I just turned 15. Yeah.
Okay. Can you talk about that situation? How everything happened and like how'd you feel and all that?
Um, it was weird. So my mother, she was actually in prison. She was doing a year in prison, and just right when she got out, he passed away like 3 months later. So
Whoa.
it was I didn't live with him, but he came like when my mom went to prison. He came to try to take me up to go to Florida to live with him, me and my little brother, and I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I have to stay here because my boxing career is here. Like I already lived in Florida with him before. I already went to the gyms out there. I already know what it's like. And my career in boxing is gonna grow here, not over there. And he let me stay. So I was just out here by my lonely, with some families and stuff like that. And then
Wh-
yeah.
who were you staying with
I
while
was
your
staying with
mom
my
was
aunt. I was staying with
with
my
your
aunt. My aunt, another aunt. I was, just going around a little bit. My grandmother a little bit.
okay, so bouncing around a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd your mom go to prison for?
That's she went, it was like some court fraud, some fraud stuff, something like that.
Okay, okay, all right. And so, how'd your father pass away? We kind of veered off a little.
Yeah. We kind of veered away. My father passed away from he had a lot of health condition. He grew up me growing up, he was always in the hospital, always sick, suffered from heart attacks, strokes, had diabetes, and just some mild complications. And I don't remember exact the medical term for it, but I don't.
Wow,
It was just his day. It was just his day.
I get it.
And,
I get it. Um, from what I understand, your uncle kept stressing to me to ask you about your amateur career and who you fought, and he was telling me how you fought Boots in the amateur, how you fought Gary Antoine Russell and Abraham Nova and Teofimo and William Foster and Edgar Berlanga. How did some of those fights go? How did let's go down the list. How did you and Boots go? Like, how did the fight go and who won?
to me, I thought the fight was competitive, but he won. It's on YouTube, so if anybody want to watch it, they could go search it up. It's on YouTube.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
How about you and Gary Antoine Russell?
Uh, that was a good fight. He won. That was for the semifinals in the Olympic trials.
All right, and you and Edgar Berlanga.
We were kids. It was probably like 11. or something like
All
that.
right.
I ended up winning. I
Okay.
ended up winning. That was out in New York.
All right. And the last, I asked about the last two. How'd you and William Foster do?
I beat him. I beat him like twice, I believe.
And you and Teofimo?
That was in the finals of the Golden Gloves. He beat me.
Okay. Your uncle stresses to me that you really beat Tio.
I thought I did.
He
I
tells
thought.
me he's like they robbed my nephew. They robbed. So I was like, all right, I'll bring him. Circling back to William Foster, he had a big win earlier last year in January where he beat Edwin de los Santos, and that win at the time wasn't as big as it ended up becoming after Edwin beats Rayo. How good is William Foster? Like, how do you see his talent
I
level?
think he's good. You know, I think he's really good. A lot of the New England fighters, I feel like they get just very underrated.
Mhm.
They don't have that exposure a lot of times, but he's good.
Yeah. Also, speaking of New England fighters, I thought Rashidi Ellis beat Roman Villa on that tank undercard. I don't know if you saw the fight.
Oh yeah, I did.
I
I
thought he
did.
won that fight. What would you think?
I thought he won. You know, the two knockdowns in the end. At worst, I would have gave it a draw. At worst.
Yeah, nah. I totally agree. I thought he dominated the earlier rounds. Yeah. But all right, so circling back, when you went pro, who did you sign with? What was your process? Because from what I understand, you didn't have a promoter all the way up until the Jamel Herring fight. How was your situation going up and getting
No, I had
signed
a
by a promoter?
promoter. I had a promoter. I was signed with Jimmy Birchfield. He's based out of Rhode Island, CES Boxing.
Okay,
So
all
I
right,
signed it. I turned pro with him and had all my fights basically under his banner, and then got more opportunities as the
okay,
time came along.
all right. And your fight with Joseph Adorno, was that a short notice fight?
I don't think so.
Oh, you
Um,
you had time to prepare.
yeah, I had time to prepare.
Oh, okay. That fight was a really interesting fight because I forget. I should have rewatched it. I forget which one of you started off really hot, but then started to get tired and faded towards the rounds. Was that you or was that him that started fading you?
Nah, I never. He was fading, but I don't think he ever even started hot. Well, he started because they
Y-
scored a knockdown in the second round,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't have been a knockdown. But that fight, I felt like I was on fire every round. He just caught me with a good punch in the seventh round, caught me with a good punch in in the second round, and that's how I call the story. You know, you watch it. I felt like I dominated, but he landed two really good punches on me that obviously shifted the fight in some way or form. But even if you count the knockdowns, uh, I was still ahead on points.
I got you. I got you. You, I thought you were moving up to 140. Is that true? Because
No,
then
not
I
as
heard you
no.
were I heard you were moving up to 140, but stood at 135 for the opportunity against Loma. Is that true?
Maybe probably that was circling around because after the Jamel Herring fight, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go to 140, and I was thinking about it. You know, Loma fight came around, but I got a dietitian. I hired a dietitian, and that really changed the way I was able to make weight and do things a lot better. And my weight cut was a lot easier. So that made me rethink about like maybe I could stay here for a little bit longer. You know?
Oh, okay. All right. Uh, Talking about the Loma fight, I thought you won. I'll be honest with you. I thought you won that fight 7-5. I thought it was a close fight, but I definitely thought you won. Uh, that fight, I do feel like you got a little bit tired towards the end, and maybe he pulled out the championship rounds, but I still give you the fight. What are your impressions as to what happened in the Lomachenko fight?
I look at it as like I compare it as if we was like if I was a car and I was going at like 50 miles per hour, right? I started 50 miles per hour and I kind of stayed that way. And he was like at 35 miles per hour. This is the best way I could kind of explain it
Yeah,
from my point of view. And as the rounds came up, like in the middle of the fight, he got up to like 50 miles per hour. Then we was like head and head, and then after that, after the like ninth, 10th round, he just took it to like 60 miles per hour, and I stayed at 50. So it seems like he's now ahead. So it's like I'm slowing down, but in reality, I just feel like he picked up his pace uh, over time, going from 35 to 50 to 60, and I stayed at a constant pace because after the fight, I wasn't tired. Um, I wasn't tired, and I was saying to myself, I'm like, man, usually after a fight, at the end of the fight, you're kind of pretty exhausted, and you should have left it all out in the ring, but I wasn't. So that's how I knew I wasn't tired, and I prepared very good. It was more of the mind, I thought I won, and I wasn't going in there like I got to win the championship rounds, and I let them championship rounds go, and I was just trying to play it safe, and it happened.
And from what I understand, you used to be Lomachenko's sparring partner, but and that's normal. But one thing that I heard, and I want you to confirm, is that they used to always bring out a scale and weigh you every single day to make sure you weren't over a certain weight when you guys would spar. Is that rumor true?
They didn't bring out the scale. The scale was at the gym, but they was just checking my weight every
So,
day.
so they would they would check your weight every day, and if you weighed 148, I'm making up a number, 148, they'll be like, no, you're too big right now. When you cut down to this weight, we'll let you spar him.
Not they weren't picky like that. They weren't that picky.
Okay, all right,
There was just they was just wanted to make sure, drop a little bit of weight, and see progress, but they weren't picky like, oh, if you was more weight than we wanted you to be. Like they wasn't canceling sparring or nothing like that.
I got you, I got you. No, no, no. I uh, I've done my research, and I really couldn't figure out if you were Muslim or if you just sometimes practice the religion just for cultural reasons. But are you part of the Islamic faith? I heard you.
I practiced the Islamic faith. It's been a couple years that I practice, and I just culture and everything, and the values. I kind of really connect with it on a deep level, and it's something that I go towards. Every day I try to be better and better in the religion of Islam. So
Yeah. So are you Muslim or you just practice it?
I'll say I practice. I haven't taken my thing to become a full-fledged Muslim, but like I say, every day like I practice more and more towards it. And when I feel like I can be the representation to the youth and the representation to the people as a Muslim completely, then I'll probably revert to it.
Okay, okay. Would you consider changing your name like in Muhammad Ali or...
Nah, nah, nah. I wouldn't do
Okay.
that.
No, that's interesting. How did you get interested in Islam faith?
Just me as a child, my relationship with God started back when I could remember, like 4 years old, and I just had a deep connection with God, a one-on-one connection with God. And as I got older, I would go to church. My coach would bring me to church. I would read the Bible. I actually learned how to read in Spanish by reading the Bible in Spanish. So, uh, and just throughout my life and journey, spirituality wise, I always used to read the word, and the word would talk to me. And I'm like, and once I found out, I wasn't always on the whole concept of the Trinity. That wasn't something that can always connect with me. And there was always something that God would tell me in my head, and I would listen, and I would write things down, and I would think of maybe this is a religion that this is what I thought of religion, but I didn't know what Islam was at the time. So I started writing things down, what I thought religion should be surrounded by. And when I'm doing research, I'm like, let me research if there's something like this exists. And then Islam came, and I'm like, oh, this is everything exactly how I believed it to be. And that's how kind of my journey started.
And how old were you when you did this?
I was probably like 20, 21, 21,
And how old are you now?
26.
Oh, so not that long ago. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And and for the viewers who's watching this right now, they actually don't know you're actually in Dubai right now, correct?
Yeah, I've been
What
here for a hot minute right now.
what are you doing out there? Is there some business ventures, or are you training there? Are you
It's
sparring?
everything: training, uh, business, leisure, life, everything. Name it all. That's what I'm here for.
I'm hey, listen, if you out there doing business, that means you getting big money, man. Me and you gonna have to talk offline, do some business together. If you're getting
Yeah.
that Middle East kind of money. Did going over there, like, is that somewhat of an influence why you started leaving
No, because I've only came to Dubai. My first time was like about, when was it? I think 3 years ago was my
Yeah.
first time I came, and that wasn't it. It was just, everybody always talks about Dubai. It was just, I didn't know nobody when I got here. I didn't know nobody when I got here. Obviously, I met people, and I've gotten a community out here, and I've been coming over and over again. So I have a good like people, a good network of people that I have over here. But
Okay.
yeah, man, I really enjoy it.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Uh, Shakur Stevenson has recently moved up into your weight class. I've heard him talk about you in interviews. I'm not sure. I'm sure you have seen him as well. Where he says he knows you since the amateurs, and he respects your grit, and he knows you're a tough dude. Uh, I understand he was going down the WBC rankings, and somehow, some way, he went on, and now he's fighting this Japanese fighter who's ranked one above you. Uh, were you hoping that the fight got to you and you can fight Shakur for the WBC elite?
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Everybody was saying no. Then there's this guy, Japanese guy. I already know who the Japanese guy is, and the media, the journalists, everybody, they talking about Jamaine Ortiz and Shakur Stevenson up next, and thinking that's a possibility. I know he was going down, and I was expecting it. I was hoping for it. So
Yeah. No, I listen. I was excited and hoping for that as well. When do you see yourself fighting again? Like,
hopefully before May. Before May. Um,
okay, so sometime in April.
yeah, I'm thinking April.
I
Hopefully.
heard a rumor, and I don't believe it. And your uncle also told me that is not true. But I wanted to ask you directly, that you were possibly fighting Keyshawn Davis.
Nah, that never came about.
That never been presented to you.
That never been presented.
Okay. All right. All right. What do you, what's your thought on the younger guys who are coming up in the lightweight division, like Edwin De Los Santos, Raymond Murataya, Keyshawn Davis, all these guys? What's your thought on these guys?
I think they're all good. To get at a certain level and to have people talk about them, you have to be good in some sort. And I
Mhm.
was explaining this to somebody else, I forgot who, but everybody at this level, everybody, when you got the whole boxing world talking about somebody, they have to have some potential. They have to have some talent. They have to have something that comes to the table where people are wanting to talk about them. So I respect every fighter that goes in the ring, but obviously there's fighters that have more potential and have more talent and are a little bit better skilled. So uh, eventually they'll have their time. I'm pretty sure, but that's gonna be after me, after the dudes right now.
Speaking of somebody who's, I want to say, at your level in terms that he's a contender, Frank Martin just had a big win over Michelle Rivera, our Dominican brother.
Yeah.
Is that a fight you will be interested in getting a get back for DR? You know what I'm saying?
I would. I think, man, I'm here to crown the lightweight division. So anybody in the lightweight division, it's come here and let's get it on. Like, I'm a fighter, born fighter, and I don't back down from no challenge. And that's all I want. Is I would just want to be the best, because one of my main motivations has always been to be pound for pound.
Mm,
And for me, pound for pound is, being champion in multiple weight classes, fighting anybody you can. And I know it's an opinionated list, but just the fact that you're in that topic of like, no, this dude is that serious that pound for pound nobody could f with him, and that's the type of fighter I want to be, and that's what I'm aiming for.
Now, for sure, for sure. No, and you're in the perfect division for that. Like that division is hot, whether it be Loma or Haney or Shakur or Tank. These are guys that you beat them, you get a lot of credit for. So it definitely will lead you to your goal a lot quicker. How long you see yourself fighting in this division? Because you were considering moving up before, got a nutritionist. Now you're making a weight a little bit more comfortably. How long do you see yourself staying at 135?
I'll say probably like once I get a world title, that's
Okay.
my goal. I really have a goal of getting a world title at 135.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, for sure. And you're ranked in the WBC at number 6 or 7. I believe number
I think
6.
7.
7. So you're not that far off. As long as you fight, keep fighting ranked opponents, it's only a matter of time before you move up and possibly become a mandatory. Yeah. How do you like working with Top Rank? Listen, Top Rank. My relationship with Top Rank is a little rocky. I don't like how they did Carlos Adames. He takes one loss, they release him. I ain't like how they did Elvis. He takes one loss, they release him. So with Top Rank, I'm a little, how they been treating you? Because if they treating another Dominican bad, I'll go to the office. You know what I'm saying?
It's alright. I got one more fight with them, so I ain't saying nothing.
Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. I got you. I got you. Does that one fight have an option? Like if you win, they have an option to match, or is it just one fight and you're a free agent after that and you'll sign it?
Just one more fight.
Okay. All right. It's cool. All right. So I want to give a chance for the fans to call in and ask their own question. I want to know if that's okay with you.
Of course.
All right. So, guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Anybody who wants to call in and ask Jamaine a question directly, just click that link. It'll take you to a website. And then from there, you guys can figure it out from there. Also, while we're waiting for somebody to call in, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out with the visibility of the channel. You know what I'm saying? It provides me with more access to different fighters so I could bring these guys to you and get you guys connected to them. So if anybody wants to call in, well, first hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have, I put the link in the chat. If you want to call in, ask Jamaine a question, you're more than welcome to. All right. So do you be rooting for the Dominican fighters a little extra and the Puerto Rican fighters? I keep forgetting you have Puerto Rican.
Yeah. Of course, I want my people to win.
That's what's up. What fighters in boxing you have a good relationship with? Like which ones are like, obviously you probably cool with a lot of them, but which ones you're like close with that we would know?
That you would know. I'm not like best friends with anybody in the game, But,
no, I know you mean. I know. I'm talking about somebody
I talk a lot with Michelle Rivera. Michelle. I was actually on the phone with him today, just a couple hours ago.
Okay.
Boo Boo, everybody from like New England, Boo Boo. We be talking. We work out together sometimes. He'd be trying to give me some pointers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Always Rashidi, grew up with Rashidi in the amateurs and stuff like that. Spar him many times, so cool with him. I think that's about it. I ain't really cool with a lot of people.
Yo, don't call in, man. This guy's not friendly. You see, he don't even got friends in boxing. Yo, this guy's not friendly. Don't call in, guys. Nah, I'm just messing you.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, the link is in the chat. Don't have me, because then once I let him go, that's it. He's already been gracious with his time giving me the interview. If nobody wants to call in, I'll let him go. The link is in the chat. If anybody wants to call in, click that link. Because once he's gone, and he won't be back until the next interview. So the link is in the chat. But yeah, May. I mean, you said April you're trying to come back. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So out there in Dubai, like, that's kind of like a vacation spot. You also talk about you doing business out there. how much training are you getting out there? Because I'm sure your trainer's
I'm
not out
doing,
there.
I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot of training out here. Really good training because I train at the Cuban boxing gym. So they got Cubans that was one of the head trainers for the Cuban national team. So I'm working over there. They got some good Cuban fighters too.
Really? So there's a Cuban boxing gym in Dubai.
Yeah, they just came from Cuba. It was like a group of like 8 of them came from Cuba probably 2 years ago.
Wow, that's so interesting. And you were getting sparring and work out there and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Even when I was fighting, when I got the call to fight Jamel Herring, I was out here, and this is where I started my training camp.
Yo, that's dope. I ain't know that. I
Yeah.
have a caller calling in. I have Ariel. Ariel, what's up, my brother? What's your question for Jamaine?
Well, technically, it's not a question. It's a favor that I need him to do for me.
Okay, what's the favor you want Jamaine to do?
Yo, Jermaine, please, brother. I don't know if I could curse, but your boy Haney, bro, you need to get this guy out of there, bro. You have to get that fight, yo, somewhere, somehow. Just, I need you just to do me a favor and just smack him up at least, and just remember me when you do it, bro.
Got you. I got you. It's gonna happen. I guarantee you. It's gonna
Cause
happen.
he's the most. Oh man, I don't know what the fuck he has, but he must be praying to Allah, Jesus Christ, old Lord of bro. You a handsome dude, bro. You need this belt. Smack this boy up just for me, bro. I know you don't know me, bro. Yo, I'm rooting for you, bro.
I thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's gonna happen. Everybody's gonna be proud. It's gonna happen.
Woo. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah,
Thank you for calling me.
Ariel, you never called in before, but please call in again, man. That was a good one.
That's so a guy that I know he could put hands on your boy Haney. I have to call, bro. I have to. I just know, bro. I just know.
I know
just
too.
know.
I know it too. I've been
See,
calling it for a couple
you made
years.
me proud. Yo, I'm if I was there, I would give you a hug, bro. No homo, bro. I would just give you a hug, bro, just for root, bro.
No, I appreciate that, man. No,
Take care, brother.
I've been calling it for many years, and that's the fight I always want. Like, if there's the number one fight they asked me I want, it's definitely Haney. That's why that fight with Loma was very important to me because I knew once I beat him, there was already setting that up, and I felt like I was gonna get in the way of that and get that mandatory fight with Haney. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. You know you have somebody in the crowd rooting for you, bro. I'm not Puerto Rican, but I'm gonna be having the Puerto Rican flag, the Dominican flag, and the American flag just for you, brother. Not for Haney, just for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too.
All right. Yo, thanks so much for the call. I have another caller here, my man. My man Lefty from Chicken Talk. Lefty, how's it going, my brother?
What up, though? You all right?
Nah, I'm doing good. What's your question for my man Jamaine?
My question for Jamaine, besides Loma, what other guys in or around your weight classes did you sparred with?
Montana Love.
Okay. That's it.
Cleveland boy.
You haven't sparred William Foster and
No.
Nah, never. I figured since he's from Connecticut, you guys would have sparred.
No.
Oh, okay. You don't get that much good work then out there in
it depends. Like right now, like when there's a fight, we just bring people in from New York or wherever we have to.
So you never sparred Richardson Hitchens or Chris Colbert or
I fought Richardson Hitchens.
Oh, you fought him in amateurs?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
I won.
Okay. Lefty, you got any more questions?
Yeah, I got one more question. In your opinion, other than yourself, who is the best lightweight in your opinion out there?
Well, Devin Haney got the belts. He's the champion. But I like Tank. I think Tank's really good. I know he only has like the WBA regular belt, and we're going through this crisis of talking about different types of belts and who's champion, who's not, and Mickey Mouse this, Mickey Mouse that.
Yeah.
But I like Tank. I think Tank is one of the top fighters for sure. I think they underrate him on the pound for pound list. You know, I think they don't even be having him on there sometimes. But I think he
Now,
should definitely be on there.
I think the thing is with the pound for pound list, they don't include him because, like, although obviously the talent is there, I just don't think his resume matches up to like a Bivol, a Usyk, a Inoue, a Canelo,
Not
Jamel
that
Charlo.
you right about like maybe the resume. He fought some good dudes. You know, boxing is a little the way they play it. You know, when it comes to opponent times, but at least for me, pound for pound sometimes could be like just the fact that you go up 3 divisions. You could fight in 3 different divisions. Sometimes have a belt in 2 different weight classes. It's not any fighter or regular fighters that just be doing that.
No, for sure. This will be the last question, unless from me, unless anybody else calls in while I ask the question or you answer it. Would you like a rematch with Lomachenko? Also,
Love a rematch. Love a rematch.
what would be different of what you do in the fight? Because I thought you won, but again,
I'll knock
me
him
and
out.
you,
I'll knock him out. I'll knock him out.
you'll knock him out.
For sure. Guaranteed.
Okay. All right. Hey, I love the confidence. All right, we do have another caller actually. Ari de lo mío, what's up, my brother?
De lo mío, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está? I'm sorry, I just missed what you were saying. You were saying you will knock who out?
Lomachenko.
Oh, okay. Questions. So you were just speaking about Tank and Devin Haney, stuff like that. Can you give us your prediction on Haney versus Loma, and then give us your prediction on big fight that's coming up, Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis? What do you think of those guys?
Haney versus Loma. I think Haney will be able to just use his jab very well and keep him at bay. If he does that, it will probably be like a easy win. I do think Loma would be a little bit hesitant in the beginning. I just feel like sometimes he gets a little bit, I wouldn't say nervous, but just more cautious when it comes to bigger guys, knowing that they're bigger and more weighty, like have more weight on them. So we'll see, but we all know that Lomachenko in the end of the fight, in the later half, he really picks it up and things can always change. So that's kind of I don't know if that was a complete prediction. I'm not really picking a side 100%, but I'm going to give the edge to Haney. And for Tank and Ryan Garcia, that one is a very interesting fight because styles make fights for that fight. And I feel like those two styles, very explosive, but Tank is one of the shortest dudes in the division, and Ryan Garcia knows how to use his reach very well for the division, like one of the taller guys in the division. I think Ryan will be able to keep him at bay. I think maybe they'll both get knocked down. I believe they'll both get knocked down during the fight. But I see Tank winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan was to win either. If that makes a clear prediction. Probably not, but
Yeah, I think I've always said this. I think it's a dangerous fight for both guys. Given that they both have speed and power. I think they're both. I think Tank Davis has a better boxing abilities. But yeah, Ryan Garcia with the left hook and the speed and the power is dangerous as well against anybody in the division. Another question I want to ask you: if you had 3 opponents, doesn't matter what side of the street they're on, what are your next 3 opponents that you would like to fight?
Oh man, my next 2 would probably be, I like a rematch with Loma. After that, Devin Haney. Third would be with Tank.
There you go.
Well, thank you for your time, man. Thank you for
the crown, the king.
I hear you, man. Listen, thank you for your time. Good luck with everything, and keep working, man. Keep making us proud. Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Ari. All right. This will actually be my last question. Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
All right. Because one of my boys, he was like, I don't think Jamaine speaks Spanish. I was like, nah. He does. And I was like, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna ask your uncle. I was like, I'm gonna wait until I get him on. But yo, Jamaine, thank you so much for coming on the show, answering all my questions, answering my fans' question. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself.
I did. I thought you was gonna have this interview in Spanish. I thought I was gonna do this whole interview in Spanish.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's what I
Nah.
thought.
Well,
'Cause I be watching you. I know you be doing your interviews with the guys in Spanish, but then you be translating too for them, and you be English and Spanish. But I just figured since mainly your fans be Dominicans, that you was just gonna have in Spanish and then translate if you had to.
No. All right. So how about this? Next time we'll do it in Spanish. Next time we'll do it in Spanish. Once you get a fight announced, like let's say you're fighting, Nakatilia or whoever you're gonna fight next. I have no idea. But I'll have you back on and we'll do the interview in Spanish. That way the people can see. No, yeah, I guess you got me regretting that. I probably should have done it in Spanish. But it went well. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself, man. I felt good energy. I definitely want to have you back on again, and thank you so much for giving me your time, my brother.
No, I appreciate you for having me on, man.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want to come back on, you got my number. Just hit me, yo, bro. I want to come back on. I want to announce something. I want to say something. You're more than welcome to hop on the show, bro.
All right, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, that was Jamaine Ortiz, my man. Half Dominican, half Puerto Rican from Worcester, Massachusetts. Definitely gave me a great interview. Has a very interesting life story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the interview and come back. I got more interviews coming. This Wednesday I will be interviewing Hector Luis Garcia at 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be interviewing Hector Luis Garcia. Guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that like and subscribe button. Support my channel. Also, if you want to buy a Dominican boxing shirt, let me know, man. www.broadwayjoel.com. A lot of you guys say you want to support me. I'm your favorite channel and you love me. But the shirts haven't been moving the way they supposed to, man. www.broadwayjoel.com. Buy yourself a Dominican boxing shirt. That's the shirt Hector Luis Garcia walked into the ring with on a main event pay-per-view against Gervonta Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit legendary. Buy a shirt now before they run out. www.broadwayjoel.com. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.